Hello, this is Dr. Grant Schmidt, Superintendent for Hanover School District. This presentation is about the current state of the district as we have closed out the 2015-16 school year. The district mission statement, which is within the board policies, states the Hanover School District number 28 shall strive to provide a safe environment for all students and staff and meaningful opportunities and innovative educational programs for all students so that they reach their learning potential, including that they meet or exceed state and district content standards through partnerships between home, school, and the community. When we look at the end of a school year to determine whether it was successful or not, there are a number of indicators. Student assessment data, financial status, department reports, school reports, parent-student staff satisfaction survey, and organizational development efficiencies and structures. We will go through each of these in this presentation. Starting with student assessment data, there are two types of student data that we look at. At the local level, we use assessments which are called formative. At the state level, those assessments are called summative because it is a summary of the school year as how well our students achieve and grow. Student assessment data reports two different things: achievement, which is the overall performance level, and growth, which is the amount of growth demonstrated within 1 year. Achievement is very important for us. However, growth is even greater measure. When the state of Colorado determines the performance of a school and a district, growth receives greater weight than achievement, because growth shows whether or not the student met at least 1 year growth during the 1 year time in the school. Our goal is for every child to grow more than 1 year on an annual basis. It is our desire for lower achieving students to catch up and higher achieving students to excel over the course of their K-12 schooling. The local formative assessments which we use are DIBELS and NWEA. DIBELS is a measure of students and their reading skill development. NWEA is a measure of achievement and growth for reading, math, science, and language arts, which can also be considered writing. The first formative assessment used only at the elementary level is called DIBELS. The nice thing that we have seen at Prairie Heights Elementary School is that the beginning of the year results when we assess our students in the first couple of weeks of school is showing that the composite scores are increasing. For example, at the end of first grade in 2015, the beginning of the year compared to the beginning of the year this year is a 100-point increase. When you look at second grade in 2014 to when they were third graders in 2015, it is an increase of 166 points on the composite score. And you can see the others as you go across the purple table. Down below in the pink table, that is the end of the year composite score for each classroom grade level. Again, you can see the increase that we are seeing at the end of 2014. Second graders, which then were third graders in 2015, the composite score has gone up significantly. The same with fourth grade in 2013, the same group of kids when they were fifth graders in 2014. This is demonstrating a continued increase in the achievement of our students in reading as well as their growth in reading. The other formative assessment that we use is called NWEA. Within NWEA, we assess our students at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. We look for the growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. The goal is to see an increase in the percentile ranking from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. What you see under the 2015-16 column, in yellow, those numbers are the increase in percentile rank from beginning of the year to end of the year. Those that are not highlighted in yellow are those which actually had a decline. In 4th and 8th grade, a marginal decline of 2 and 3 points. But you can see with all the other grade levels, we see very nice increases, as high as 44 in grade 3. We also have the actual percentiles to show how we did in 2014 and 15-16. In yellow, you will see that we increased from the prior year in terms of total percentile rank for the grade level. In pink, under 2015-16, you still see an increase, but it did not beat or exceed what was in 2013-14 and barely in 2012 and 13. So grades 4 and 8 are 2 grades that we continue to monitor, as those kids are now in grade 5 and 9. We can now look at NWEA reading growth just like we did with math. Once again, you can see in yellow are those grade levels that had an increase from the beginning of the year to the end of the year in their achievement as measured by a percentile rank. And the percentile ranks that we had for 2015 and 16 are shown in this table. In yellow are those that are above the 50th percentile, and those not highlighted in yellow are below the 50th percentile. The 50th percentile is considered the average, or right in the middle. Anything greater demonstrates outpacing peers. Anything less than demonstrates not quite outpacing peers. We also have state assessments, which are called summative assessments. These 2 assessments, ACT and PARCC, are taken to take a look at how well students achieve overall over the course of a year, or with ACT, a measure against all other students in the nation by the time students are in the 10th grade. When we look at our ACT composite score, we have reached our highest ACT score in almost 10 years. Our average ACT score at Hanover High School for 2016 was 22.3. The state average, 20.4. The difference, we were 1.9 points above the state average. We were also among the highest of all the Pikes Peak Region school districts. When we look at the PARCC assessment, which is a somewhat national assessment because there are at least 7 schools in the country, 7 states in the country, which take the PARCC assessment every year. When we look at the achievement growth, in yellow under the growth column is an increase from the prior year, showing that achievement is on the rise. 1 grade level, 9th grade for literacy, actually had a decline in achievement from the prior year. Overall, 86% of all of our literacy tests showed an increase in achievement. In PARCC, for math, the achievement was a little bit different than in literacy. This is going to be an area of focus for the 2016-17 school year. 50% of the tests that we took in math last year, we showed a growth over the prior year. However, 4 of the 8, we did not show growth. That will be something we'll focus on this school year. So overall, when we look at the PARCC in terms of growth and achievement, and we rank ourselves with all the other schools, both large and small in the Pikes Peak region, in English language arts, we were one of only two school districts of the 16 in the region that had a value above 60. In math, we were within a group of 11 of 16 districts in the region that had a value in the 40s. As you can see, we are very competitive among our neighbors in the Pikes Peak region and exceeding at a very high level in literacy. The next indicator is our financial status. Our school district holds a very high rating with Moody's rating of an AA+. A historic view of the previous 3 school years shows a comparison of our revenue, our expenditures, our unused funds for the year, and our fund balance, and the percent of revenue that our fund balance is. Fund balance is essentially the savings account as it grows from year to year. It is appropriate practice for governmental institutions to have at least 2 months of total compensation or payroll for all employees in savings. In addition, the state of Colorado requires a 3% reserve, which is called Tabor Reserve. Currently, going into the 16-17 school year, we have just under $500,000 in our fund balance. Our target for this time would be approximately $450,000. So we are finally at a point with a 16.39% fund balance, where if we had a fiscal emergency, we would be able to cover payroll for 2 months. And if we had an emergency which allows the Tabor Reserve to kick in, we have that money set aside as well. The next area is to look at our department reports. The departments we have in our school district are transportation, maintenance and custodial, nutrition services, human resources, and technology. Here is some interesting data for our transportation department. The number of vehicles we have is a total of 14. 3 of them are minivans, 2 are 14 passenger buses, and 9 are larger buses. Of our 3 vans, all 3 are in need of renewing with a new van, as the vehicles have high number of miles and are taking on a high number of maintenance needs. Our 2 14 passenger buses are brand new. This is the 2nd year we have had these buses in operation. Of our larger buses, a number of them are deteriorating as a result of the dirt roads that we must travel and the potholes that we frequently see on our paved roads. Our vehicles are in need of replacement. The number of riders for the 2014 and 2015 school year has been right around 200. This current school year, we have 270 students. So as you can see, the vast majority of our students require transportation in a van, a 14-passenger bus, or one of the larger buses. As you see in the bottom left, we have a breakdown on what vehicles are used for which school site. And in the bottom right, you will see the number of miles that our transportation vehicles are driving. The 2015-16 school year, we saw an increase of 9,500 miles driven with our vehicles. A total of 103,000 miles were driven last school year. The cost that we have for transportation begins with fuel. As you can see, the number of diesel gallons that we are consuming as well as the unleaded gallons. As a government organization, we are able to get our price per gallon at a lower rate than what you will find in retail. The next table below that are the number of services that were required for our vehicles and the expense for those services. Then below that, you will see the actual maintenance on those vehicles. Our maintenance doubled from the 2014-15 school year to the 2015-16 school year as a result of the wear and tear that our transportation vehicles go through. This will continue to increase as our vehicles have more miles and continue to have more wear and tear. The next indicator within the departments is maintenance. What you see here are the number of projects which we completed in the 2015-16 school year. Of the 59 projects, you can see the breakdown for each site. The types of projects which we completed in last school year are listed in the bottom left. One of the largest projects was our lighting project, as well as regular building maintenance. In the lighting project, we are replacing light bulbs so that we can have the correct cool temperature and color of our light bulbs for the learning setting. Overall, what we look at is how many work orders we receive and how many are filled to make sure that we are efficiently operating and responding. And as you can see, every work order that was received was filled. The Nutrition Services Department is where we serve meals as well as provide snacks. You can see for the 2015-16 school year how many meals we had for paid meals at each building plus staff, how many meals were for reduced, means that families qualify due to income, and free, which means families qualify due to income as well. So the total number of meals that were served in the 2015-16 school year was 53,455. Prairie Heights Elementary School received a grant for nutritious snacks, which is comprised of fruits and vegetables in the afternoon for all preschool through 5th grade students. The total number of days that we served our students was 140. In Human Resources, what you see here is a breakdown of the type of positions and locations of all of our staff that we have in our school district. The bottom right-hand corner, you can see in the 2015-16 school year, we had 48.5 employees working for the district. Looking at the bottom row, you can see that at Prairie Heights, we had 15.5. The junior senior high school, 18.33. And then it goes on across as you look in each column. The other thing is that we purchase service from the Pikes Peak Board of Cooperative Education Services, which is the acronym BOCES, Pikes Peak BOCES. Because of our situation where we are not able to fund these special education and technology positions, 8 rural districts pool together our resources so that we can purchase all of these positions at a significantly lower cost. The total number of employees that we have equivalent that we receive services from the Pikes Peak BOCES is 6.15. We pay to the Pikes Peak BOCES less than what it would cost if we paid for the 6.15 positions total compensation on an annual basis. When we look at how we have been able to compensate our staff, here is a history of what happened each school year. Whether there was a freeze or not, you will see in that column yes or no, and then comments. In 2007 and 8, as well as the 8-9 school year, all staff received 1 step. Once the economy hit and funding was an issue for schools and for our school district, there were 3 years of freezes, followed by 3 years of 1 step. In 2015-16 school year, in order to make up for the 3 years of freeze, all individuals were able to earn up to 3 steps, plus everyone got 1 step. This made up for those freezes. As we go into the 2016-17 school year, we had to freeze salaries. As a result, our salary schedule is not as competitive as need be with our neighboring school districts, and in fact, we are quite far behind the larger districts in our area. This makes it quite difficult for us to recruit and retain staff. The technology department has a breakdown of our inventory for you to see. In total, we have 250 devices that would fall under the technology equipment category. The devices are broken out at Prairie Heights, the junior high school, and the senior high school. Each of the school has a report about how the 2015-16 school year went. At the elementary school, the total number of students enrolled throughout the year was 125. The first day enrollment was 96, and the last day was 125. The number of excused absences, 714.5, and the number of unexcused absences, 307.5, shows that we had just over 1,000 absences in total among the 125 students in the school year. That seems to be a little bit high, and we hope to continue to decrease that. The number of student days for Prairie Heights Elementary in the last year, 150. That equals to 1,200 hours for the year. When we look at discipline at the school, a total of 51 office referrals were given to students throughout the school year. The highest level consequences of those 51 referrals equal 23 referrals that had a high level consequence. 7 in-school suspensions, 13 out-of-school suspension days, 3 lunch detentions for a total of 23. When we look at the junior senior high school combined, the total number of students enrolled throughout the year, 147. The first day enrollment was 124, and the last day was 130. What this shows is we had quite a bit of mobility. Since 147 total students were enrolled in the school, but the end of the year's enrollment was 130, we had quite a few who came in and out during the year. The total number of absences, both excused and unexcused, also exceeded 1,000, just like the elementary school, an area which both schools will be focusing on for the 2016-17 school year. The number of office referrals for the junior senior high school in the 2015-16 school year was 114. Of the 114, 67 received a high-level consequence. 21 in-school suspensions, 8 out-of-school suspensions, 28 lunch detentions, and 10 bus detentions for a total of 67. The last school year, we were unable to complete a parent-student survey as we had done in prior years. This was because in the fall of 2015-16, we administered a survey for these groups related specifically for our strategic plan. Therefore, we did not have actual satisfaction surveys to display the data. However, those satisfaction surveys will be administered again during the 2016-17 school year. The final component that we look at for the school year is organizational development, efficiencies, and structures. The next few slides will provide a list of a number of things that were implemented in the 2015-16 school year and will continue as we proceed forward. Monthly communications came out from the superintendent called the Hanover Buzz, which was posted on the district website for community, staff, students, and parents to read. Staff and community were provided opportunities to provide input on the district budget as we were developing it. We held meetings at both school sites for community members and staff to come in to ask questions. We began the development of a strategic plan for the district. We had a total of 30 staff, students, and community members who participated in getting this started. Our strategic plan will be posted on the website in approximately 10 days from this presentation, as one more parent meeting is going to be held to add action items for our district strategic plan. For the first time in quite some time, the superintendent held weekly administrative team meetings to be able to look at cross-functional communications among all district managers. We continued our curriculum development project, which was completed by our teaching staff. Board meetings had both live streaming as well as audio recordings posted and available for the community to be able to know what happens at the board meetings in the event you are unable to attend. We began the initial development of revising our graduation policy. Professional development topics did a better job of matching our student needs. In the case of the 2015-16 and continuing in the 16-17 school year, we are studying poverty and growth mindset. Our school district has an approximate 80% number of students who are free or reduced lunch. We increased our efficiencies by reducing the number of square feet that we have been using. There are a number of square feet that we had left open and we're still heating. Therefore, we reduced the cost of energy by reducing the amount of square footage in use. We changed out nearly all of the lights to correct the color and temperature for improved learning environment. We were able to reopen the old gym for the old school building, adding space for volleyball and basketball practices. We were able to purchase the wrestling match to allow for scheduling of home meets and invitational. The wrestling mats were purchased after the state wrestling tournament in the 2015-16 school year at a significantly reduced price. Offsetting the cost of these mats was fundraising money the wrestling team had been raising over a number of years. We were able to improve the district's financial health by increasing the fund balance to meet the GFOA guidelines and recommendations of having 2 months of total compensation staff salary in reserve, as well as the 3% required by Tabor. We began the development of an alternative energy program. Hydroponics pilot started, and an electrical program is in the works for our students. We implemented flooding for reading intervention for grades K through 5 in order to meet the individual needs of our students so they can demonstrate growth and achievement in reading. This was successful as seen by our PARCC data and NWEA data. There was an implementation of a Math Essentials course for math intervention in grades 6 through 8. Math Essentials captures students who are struggling in math at junior high level in order to catch up those skills which may be lacking. We made improvements to the elementary playground to provide additional space with the space that we have available. We fully fenced the elementary school to improve security. Prior to the 2015-16 school year, it was easy for someone to walk on and off our campus. Now we are able to keep them out with the fence. We installed keyless entry systems and entry video systems at both schools to improve security. This allows us to actually see who is coming into the front door, causing them to have to ring a doorbell, allowing us to determine whether we allow them in the building or not. We have written full job descriptions for all positions in the districts and shared those with each employee. This has been lacking for many years. We were able to deliver contracts to all employees prior to the last day of the school year. This is something that had not happened in a number of years. We began the development of a facilities long-range plan in order to look at how we can address our facility needs between now and 40 years from now. The board started utilizing the Colorado Association of School Boards for board development. And finally, we increased professional development and reading for the elementary teachers. Each school year, a district must receive accreditation status from the state of Colorado. If a school district is not accredited, students who complete their graduation year are not actually recognized as having completed the proper number of credits from an accredited school district. Additionally, schools are given a rating based on achievement, performance, and a number of other indicators. At the elementary, the state of Colorado determines school performance based on academic achievement, academic growth, and the participation of at least 95% of students in the standardized testing. There are 4 rating levels: performance, improvement, priority improvement, and turnaround. The elementary school for the 2015-16 school year was rated as improvement, which also means meets. This is the highest rating the school has had in a number of years. The junior-senior high school, the criteria includes academic achievement, academic growth, participation of 95% or greater, plus post-secondary and workforce readiness, which includes the ACT test. The ratings are the same as the elementary level. The junior-senior high school received performance, which is meets, but a very high level of meets. The district's overall performance criteria is taking both schools' academic achievement, academic growth, post-secondary and workforce readiness, participation of 95% or greater, plus finance and safety. Our school district is considered accredited, which means meets expectations. As you can see from the schools and the district, we are demonstrating continued growth in achievement and growth of our students, as well as strong finances and increasing the safety for our students. As we prepare for the 2016-17 school year, we have a mill levy override initiative on the ballot, 3E, to help begin the recovery of $3 million in lost funding due to what's called the negative factor that impacts our district by $360,000 every year from the state of Colorado. We are looking at the implementation of our strategic plan. We have developed a professional development plan so that every employee in the district will receive some form of professional growth development for their category of employment. We have a communication plan that is nearly complete, and we will begin implementing the plan. Our recruitment and retention plan is nearly complete, and we'll begin implementing that plan as well. As we come to the close of this presentation, please know that anytime I am available to be contacted or to arrange a meeting with me. It can be just you or a small group or a large group of individuals. You can contact me at 719-683-2247 or contact me at my email address below. I am confident and happy to tell you that your school district is very strong financially, is improving significantly in student achievement and growth, and our departments are working efficiently given the restraints that we currently are under with the funding that's available to us. We look forward to an excellent 2016-17 school year.